I started with my friend Pippa something called the Sunday Assembly, and we like to think of it as part atheist church, part foot stomping show, and 100% celebration of life. You know, that's the strap line. And for me, I mean, Pippa used to go to church and then lost her faith and also lost her church, so that was her thing. But for me, not believing in God, I've always experienced that in really religious terms. So I thought it actually makes perfect sense to go and try to recreate some of that. But I mean, there's so many great things that churches do that we thought, why let only religious people have them? Why can't atheists or agnostics have them too? And so that's really what led to it. And I was leaving a Christmas carol concert about 6 years ago, and I thought there's so much here which is so awesome and great, but you know, why can't you do that, but instead of having at its centre something I didn't believe in, have at its centre something that I did believe in. And you know, that was that life can just be just as wonderful, just as transcendent, just as meaningful if you don't have a God as if you do. The meteoric success of it, that took us by surprise. There was, I thought that people would like it. There's, all of my stand-up shows have somehow been trying to get that point across, and I think that, just saying that in fact the very gift of being alive is something which is wonderful and we should try to appreciate is something which you don't hear that often, or even if you might hear it, it's very hard to experience it, to really appreciate it and take it on board, with all the different worries. And I mean, honestly, it's very weird since the Sunday Assembly started, and my entire life is focused on doing something which is dedicating to celebrating life, but it's so busy that there have been very few times when I've been less stressed and less anxious and less thinking about exactly the thing which this is about. So, yeah, I thought that people would, that would be a good thing to have a place where you can think about that. That so many people did as well is just wonderful, and is something we're still struggling to come to terms with and meet the demand. There's a wide range of people. There's, there's some people who are, just secular, not just, secular humanists who really want to find a place where, it's not just going to a talk, it's not just experience something intellectually, there's joy, and there's also community. And, we make an effort to have the peace. And honestly, once you tell people to speak to someone next to them, they don't shut up. They're nattering away. It's brilliant. Because there's those sorts of people. There are some people who lost their faith and then missed the church. Some people who've never been to church at all. Some people who might, believe in something, or agnostics. You then get some people who might even be Christians but find that there's certain aspects of the Christian church service they don't like. So there's a really wide range. Some people have. It's been quite interesting. There have been some people who've said, oh, well, look, this is an overwhelmingly white middle class thing. But then there have been some black people or Asians gone, it's really wonderful to see so many, to see such a multi-ethnic atheist audience, because in fact, it's in those communities which are maybe more traditionally religious that if you don't believe the same religion as everyone else, you can really feel ostracized. So lots of people have found different things in it. People love reading messages into events. Well, I think the need for community is, it's a basic social, human feeling. And whether it's always, people, want to be part of something. They want to, it's really sort of hardwired into our brains. There are so many communal experiences which are non-religious, which are, whether it be football matches or concerts, whether it be a rave or the proms, there's, the desire to feel part of something. And, it doesn't necessarily have to be the thing that sort of defines you, but even if you just get that, I've been asked a lot about community, and I think it's part of it is being surrounded by people you don't know, but you think you might like. And, you know, that's a nice way of looking at it. For me, I've always experienced, my not believing in God in religious terms, really, or terms which have been semi-monopolized. They've been settled by religion. So, the transcendence, wonder, awe, joy. I mean, these are things which, somehow if you are, a secular person, if you're a humanist, you might not feel you have a right to, but I think that's a wonderful thing. If you do realise that, you're born out of nothing, you'll go to nothing, then everything else in between is a really massive gift, and you should be grateful for it. And I've had, debates with nihilists about, saying, oh, how can you be grateful to something that doesn't exist? Gratitude's got to go towards something. But I think that's not the case at all. I mean, we are all born in Britain. I think, if just being born in Britain, you should be grateful for that fact. If you look at 9/10 of the rest of the world looks up at us with, jealous eyes. Maybe not 9/10. We can argue about that as much as we like. However, you can be grateful for things which just happen to you, and life is the greatest thing that has ever happened to a collection of matter. And anything which can think about that is surely a good thing. What I've been reading at the moment is the mental note to myself that, oh my God, I've got to read a lot more. I need to get wise. But I think the last book I read was Michel de Montaigne's essays, which are just, before I'd read a couple of them, the one on death, but just to read the lot, they're really amazing. You get the idea that is a man in the 16th century who you would very much enjoy to, have a drink with, but also just you could listen to forever. And that's been the last one I've read, and it's great.